How do you learn? Are you one of those people blessed with the talent and ability to go sit in a classroom, dig into the textbooks, and pick up knowledge that way? Or do you have to go out and get it firsthand? Some people call it the hard way. Hi, I'm Charles Burke, and I help people get comfortable with their own particular way of learning things. When I came to Japan, 36 years ago, doesn't seem real when I say that, but when I came to Japan, I didn't speak a word of Japanese. So third day here, I enrolled in a language class. Go to class 3 hours every day, 5 days a week. And for 2 years, I went to language class. I studied Japanese and I learned some stuff. But you know what? After 2 years, I dropped out of the class and I started doing something else entirely. There was a little bar near where I lived between my apartment and the train station. And I've never been much of a drinker, occasional beer like 3 times a year or something. But I started going in there 2 and 3 times a week. I would buy one beer, I would sit and I would nurse it all evening. But the kind of guys who went into that beer, they were not the upmarket executive types. They were not the super educated who spoke English fluently and understood even the nuances of a foreign joke. No, these were working guys. These were carpenters, bricklayers. These were the guys who went out and worked with their hands. And English, no, not so much. They knew some words, like I knew some Japanese words. But I went in, I sat down, and because I was the only foreigner here, the gaijin, I got to be popular. And people would sit and struggle through talking with me, and I'd sit and struggle through talking back with them. And you know, in the next 6 months, I think I learned more real Japanese than I learned in 2 years in that class. Now, it's possible that what I learned in the class gave me a foundation to work from. It's possible. So if I hadn't had that, it might have taken me a year to get up to the level where I could actually carry on a conversation. Nothing deep, no philosophy, no technical subjects or anything, but just everyday conversation. Yeah. And it didn't take long because I had finally gotten into my own particular way of learning. Classroom isn't much it. Doing things, listening to people, imitating what they do and say, that's my style. What's yours? You can probably guess that from how well you related to your school days. If you loved school, especially high school, you may be a school learner, a textbook learner, a classroom learner. But if you just hated sitting in there listening to a teacher drone on and on. I had one history teacher who talked just like Lawrence Welk. Now, you older folks will know exactly who I'm talking about, and you'll know exactly what I mean. And he talked just like this, and every day was an assignment of read 25, 30 pages, come back tomorrow, we'll discuss, and then next day, same. I didn't even show up for the final exam. That was my first and only year of college. That wasn't my style. When I left there, I went out, I traveled, I went around different states, worked at different things, had some exciting things, some fun things, some excruciatingly uncomfortable things. But I learned and I learned and I learned. It's a good thing too, because I started off, you're way, way at the bottom of the class. But I found my way and I pursued it. And if you are familiar with your best way of learning, you'll learn really fast too. I'm Charles Burke, and I help people get comfortable with their own way of doing things, including how they learn things.